Sam, you know, I was sitting here thinking about the Chattahoochee.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was a great episode. We had Macy Watkins with us.
And you just have to say fishing and I'll be there. So I'm excited for today and love the Chattahoochee. It's a special place.
And I think this outdoor lifestyle and experience really fits in well for you. I know you enjoy it.
I'm a woman who likes to do it all. I'm a bass angler, I'm a conventional angler, I'm a hunter, I'm a lot of things. I'm just looking to the guys. I'm gonna listen to what they have to say, what to throw, and just gonna show these old dudes how it's done.
And you know, it's a historic river. But besides the fact of, you know, the Lake Lanier and everything that's there, but being one of 3 major tailwaters that runs through a city population of 1 million plus. You have the Bow River in Calgary, Canada. You have the Isar River in Munich, Germany, and then you have the Chattahoochee running through Atlanta, Georgia.
I'm surprised they'll even let us on it.
I'm telling you, but you know, it's amazing fishing, and of course, it's wild brown trout. You know, they haven't stocked brown trout in that river for many years.
In a long time.
A long time, and boy, you can get into some big browns.
What you don't realize about the Chattahoochee when you're below Buford Dam, which is where we were fishing during that last episode, it's hard to believe that just, you know, 50 miles north, you're in the Appalachian Mountains at 3,500 feet at Unicoi Gap, and it's bubbling out of the side of the mountain. It flows down through Helen, Georgia, and comes on down, you know, between Clarksville and Cleveland, Georgia, and then forms the major part of Lake Lanier.
You got, I think, full pool of, you know, 1,600 feet or something, or 1,274 feet, something like that above you.
You know, one of the really impressive aspects of that whole river system is when you're standing behind Buford Dam, you know, you're 150 feet below the top of that dam with a spillway behind you that's been blasted out of solid rock. And it looks like something really you would see in Colorado or someplace like that. You jump in the river, it's ice cold. It's always
It is cold, about 50 degrees.
I never fished here. It's extremely cold. The water and just the temperatures here that these trout live in are pretty frigid, but it's a hot summer day, so it's nice, and I'm confident that we'll get on them.
I think that's the reason the trout population has become sustainable and reproducing, because the water is really cold.
But it's treacherous now. You take your life into your own hands right below Bowman's, and a lot of people fish it, and you know, you got to make sure you got a PFD and all that on, and then you look up and there's, you know, kids half naked standing on rocks.
PFD will keep you from drowning if you get caught in a release. Now, you may end up in the Gulf of Mexico.
No, it's going to be a while.
You'll still be alive. The rocks are very treacherous, even with the types of boots that we wear that have really good traction on the bottom. The rocks behind Buford Dam and up and down the river there are some of the slipperiest that we fish on. The rocks have kind of an orangey red color. You know, a lot of the historical references about how the Chattahoochee got its name was a Muskegon word that meant painted rocks. But of course, when you look at the rocks in the bottom of the Chattahoochee, these rocks are kind of orangey red colors depending on where you are on it. But it sure kind of looks like they were painted, so maybe the Muskegons had it right. When you're standing out there, and actually when they're dry rocks, they're very orange. Yeah, which is unusual here in North Georgia.
We had a good time with Macy. We got her on a few fish. Then the weather turned on us immediately. A little bit of rain has come in, and the river is completely fogged up. We can barely see anything. Good. Don't do anything. There he is. Oh! Easy, you got it. No, you got it. There he is. Easy, easy. Let's get him. Let's get him. All right.
Yeah, the joy I feel right now.
I'll work it back up into this little spot right up in here. Much better. Good. That's okay. Strip it in. they came off. Within a couple hours, we were standing in rainstorms.
You know why, don't you?
There's a curse.
There is a curse the Native Americans put on the Chattahoochee River.
Yeah.
We understand. It has to do with the fact that they were exited from the area.
Correct.
So they cursed it for everyone behind them. Today, that curse is not so much death and destruction as it is bad weather, slippery rocks, and you better wear a PFD. When we were fishing, Bowman's Island is the first big island right below the dam.
Right.
It runs for better part of a mile, probably 40, 50 feet above the river level. It's like a forest up there, then it rolls off on both sides, just a straight vertical drop. Bushwhacking right here, baby. Ridge running. I tell you, of all the effort it takes to fly fish and do things like that, I have never gotten a thank you note from a fish. Never. When you're up there, you feel like you're back in time. It's a very unusual feeling. It's almost eerie. You see all these campsites where people have camped, there's bones and stuff. I don't know what kind of bones they are. Maybe it's part of the curse. That day was a tough day of fishing. The weather was bad. We were going back and forth across that river. And one of the things I remember most is how difficult it was wading up and down the river at Bowman's Island because the trees that fall over.
Right.
You got to go over them, around them, or through them, or whatever. And I remember Macy Watkins, she was really struggling.
Yeah, she was. As we were too, yeah.
It's not an easy place to fish unless you're going to float it.
There's a lot of erosion happening on the island, so the island is actually moving, being forced backwards, if you will, from erosion and silt. And you see that when you get to the bottom of the island. Now, we didn't fish the bottom of the island, but it's tough navigating. It's that way, for many miles of the river now.
Still great fishing. It's a metro area. You'll have rock hoppers and photographers and kayakers, but you'll have a good time fishing the Chattahoochee River as we did.
Yeah, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun.
And in the meantime, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram for more of Chris and my outdoor escapades.